What is up, guys? It is your boy, Count Zach Tama. Today we are ranking the 25 best DanDaDan manga panels. With over 200 chapters, the art of DanDaDan is amazing. I love this series, and Yukinobu Tatsu truly is one of the greatest manga artists and writers in the game right now. Quick spoiler warning for my anime onlys, as the anime wraps up around chapter 72, so we'll be going on to the current arc in the story. Now, DanDaDan is a series with hundreds of manga panels that you could consider a masterpiece. But today we are ranking the top 25 that I consider the best in the series. Also, please note that some rankings will have 2 or 3 different manga panels ranked together. I did this because I feel like it benefits the whole flow or the overall feeling, and it needs the second or third panel to really convey that in my ranking. So please keep that in mind. Anyway, without further ado, number 25 we have the concert hall with Okaru and Aira, chapter 59. Now, I really love the size and scale of this panel. I love the artwork, the detail. I think it's really funny and cool to see all the opera singers and what Okaru and Aira are up against. I love the expressions of the characters, and yeah, just the size and scale. It really feels DanDaDan, and I like this one a lot. Number 24, The Eye of the Storm, Typhoon Human Arc, chapter 197. Now, I really like this panel for the artwork. The detail of the eye is insane. It's crazy, it's weird, it screams DanDaDan. It's just so sick seeing the eye. I also love the pun on Eye of the Storm. You know, it's a giant eye, either yokai or alien. I love the detail of Momo and the Kitos flying on the giant snake. Just a fun panel and just fantastic artwork by Tatsu. At 23, we have Momo throwing a fire truck at Juji's house, chapter 44, Cursed House Arc. Now, I love the detail of this manga panel. This might be one of the most detailed manga panels Tatsu has drawn. Just seeing the debris, from the fire truck smashing the house is insane. I love how dynamic it feels for such a still image. Momo looks like so strong and sharp. Like, we feel the weight of her throwing a 40,000-pound truck at the building, and the Tsuchinoko getting its teeth knocked out looks so gnarly. Like, a fantastic panel, and yeah, it deserves to be in the top 25. Next at 22, we have the double spread of Jiji and the Evil Eye Fusion, chapter 205, Shamane Arc. Now, I love this panel because of the character development for Jiji and the Evil Eye. This is the first time after 100 chapters we see them fuse together to fight an opponent, and I just love it. I love the pose they're making. It's confident. This is a big moment in the story and just brings me a big smile, so this one is at number 22. Number 21, we have The Ultimate Yokai, Shamane Arc, chapter 211. Now, this panel is sick. It reminds me of Akira, just the way with all the wires and like the pipes going into this like human body or like clone or whatever. It's so sick. It's like mystical yet very scientific, and I think this is going to be one of the biggest chapters in the story because obviously Count Saint Germain is trying to make the ultimate yokai, and yeah, this one I think is going to be very big for the plot of DanDaDan. I think we're going to 800 chapters, and I feel like this is going to be one of those chapters we look back on and is a landmark chapter. So yeah, number 21 is the Ultimate Yokai panel. At number 20, we have the Kitos on the Moon, Typhoon Human Arc. Now, I love this panel. I love, first, the comedy that comes from it, of having the Evil Eye kick the Kitos all the way up to the moon. That's hilarious and makes me laugh every time. I just love the composition, the way we have the Kitos doing their signature poses and they're in silhouette form. And we also have the giant snake hitting a pose too. Just fantastic. And the art is amazing. And now, I also love this panel because for any of my One Piece fans, it reminds me of the silhouette one of the Straw Hats around the bonfire. And now, I love this because Yukinobu Tatsu, there's no secret he's a big One Piece fan, and how I think he's trying to make DanDaDan Gen Z's One Piece, or the next big One Piece-like series. We're here to stay, and this panel just reminds me, yeah, we're going band for band with One Piece. At number 19, we have Okarun vs. Evil Eye Round 2, Chapter 61, Evil Eye Arc. And this is actually a page of 3 manga panels. Now, I love this because just seeing Okarun in his like demonic smile, Turbo Granny form is so sick. It's so nasty. It's clean. Like, it's amazing. I love the demonic smile. Like, great design, great artwork from Tatsu, and just the way the 3 manga panels cut together. We see like Okarun body slamming the Evil Eye. We see the demonic smile, and then Evil Eye's like sick, happy expression. Just pure cinema. I feel like the 3 static shots flow like just so smoothly, and yeah, this one's a lot of fun. At the 18th spot, we have Seiko, Momo, Aira, and Okarun looking up at an alien ship, chapter 27, Serpa Arc. Now, I love the artwork of this panel. It's a double spread, and it's deserving of a double spread. I just love how Yukinobu Tatsu draws our protagonists. I love how Seiko is just nonchalant, but Okarun, Momo, and Aira are looking like excited. Their hair is blowing in the wind. Just a very fun and DanDaDan panel. And yeah, what can I say? Number 18 for this one. At number 17, we have Momo and Vamola versus the Globalist Gang, Chapter 106, Space Globalist Arc. Now, I love this panel because of the composition and staging. I love how you have all the aliens in the background. There's like dozens of them, and then you have Momo and Vamola looking small and helpless in the foreground. The character designs for the aliens are so sick and weird. It just screams DanDaDan. You got like this one that looks like a evil sunflower. And let me just give a shout out to the xenomorph alien. Like, it looks so sick, and it's like it's taunting Momo and Vamola. Like, this one is great. Like, the artwork is 10 out of 10. I love the staging. But also, this panel is high up because this is DanDaDan, you know, taking another big leap in its genre and now proving itself as a battle shonen. I mean, DanDaDan has always been good with fights, but this is where like the first scale of fights and villains elevates, and like this panel alone shows that and proves it, that this is going to be one of the greatest battle shonen mangas. You know, we're going to be up there with Naruto, Dragon Ball, Bleach, and One Piece. You know, I really think this panel captures that. That's why it's at number 17. At number 16, we have Kashimoto and Paisei, Chapter 178, Kozuka Knives Arc. Now, I love this panel because I just love the artwork. It's just such a cool and fun panel. I love Kashimoto and Paisei's design. Kashimoto has like this 90s like hip hop aesthetic. He's got like the bucket hat, you know, he's got like the Adidas sweats and just so raw. I love he's got like this like phoenix like yokai ability, and then you have Paisei with the shadow ability. He's like clad in shadows. I love the lighting and just the aura of this panel. That's why this one's high up. I just love the coolness alone. Coming in at number 15, we have the ninjas ambushing Seiko, Vamola, and Momo, Chapter 202, Shimane Arc. Now, I love this panel because, once again, I love the artwork. I love how Tatsu plays with darkness and lighting. You know, we just feel like the shadows, you know, and there's just a little light source coming on the right side. I love like the comedy from it. We got hundreds, maybe thousands of ninjas descending on Seiko, Momo, and Vamola, and just like their bewildered expressions. Like, I laugh out loud when I see this one. It just screams DanDaDan. What we love to see with the absurdity, the comedy, you know, DanDaDan just tackling the ninja genre. Just a great panel, and yeah, I love it for the artwork and like the comedy and just, you know, overall aesthetics. So number 15 for this one. At number 14, we have Okarun vs. Zuma, Chapter 152, Danmar Arc. Now, this is a series of 4 panels on one page. Now, I love this grouping of panels. It shows Okarun in his demonic turbo granny form fighting Zuma, and I love this one because it just shows the tide of their fight changing in Okarun's favor. We see Zuma charging up with his umbrella attack, and Okarun with his turbo granny legs grabs onto it, and then when Zuma looks up, we see that raw demonic smile. And I love this one. I think it's done better than when Okarun fought the Evil Eye in their second fight. And it's just such great artwork, such a great character design, and such a big character moment and a big moment for the series. This is Okarun leveling up, fighting what I think is his toughest opponent. Now, I think Zuma, hands down, is Okarun's toughest one-on-one fight, and just to see him get the dub and change the tide of the fight with this moment is fantastic. You know, this is why I put this grouping of panels in my top 25 ranking. At number 13, we have a very subtle but very, very powerful grouping of manga panels on one page. This is Reiko Kashima facing down Okarun and Momo, Chapter 117, Space Globalist Arc. Now, I love these grouping of panels. This is pure cinema, pure Kurosawa levels of cinema. I love how her eyes move in a counterclockwise direction. You know, starting with the first part where it's like Reiko being 30 foot tall. She has her back turned to Momo and Okarun. You know, Momo is trying to protect Okarun, Okarun is trying to protect Momo. But Reiko, you know, is having a flashback, and then we see we'll go back in time to like a happier time for Reiko Kashima. She's running on the beach with a friend or a lover, and she obviously sees Momo and Okarun in her past life, you know, and it's just so beautiful, you know, because Reiko Kashima is the most powerful yokai. If she wanted to, she could kill Momo and Okarun with ease, but, you know, she remembers a happier time, and that's what stops her, and it's just so beautiful. I love the way Tatsu plays with symmetry and composition. You know, when we see Reiko running in front of her friend or lover, and then we cut, you know, if you look back, we see Momo in front of Okarun trying to protect him, showing that Reiko sees herself in Momo, and that's why she doesn't want to kill her. And that is what I think is beautiful, and this panel alone is why I think Tatsu is one of the greatest writers. For number 12, we have the gang coming back from Vamola's memories, Chapter 106, Space Globalist Arc. Now, this is a grouping of 5 panels on one page. And I love these groupings. This is another cinema-worthy grouping of panels. Now, I love the way our eye, once again, goes in a counterclockwise direction. You know, we see the gang coming out of just having seen Vamola's memories. We see their shocked expressions, and I love how each one is different. I love how Ira, you know, with her eye patch, you know, is like almost crying. You then move right to Gigi, and Gigi is like beaten up. He's got like this sober, like somber expression, and Gigi's usually the silly one, the optimistic silly one, and he's got a serious demeanor now. You move down to Mr. Mantis Shrimp, who's also crying, and then Rokor Serpo, who's stone-faced, but obviously, you know, he's feeling a certain way. And then our eye moves to the center of Okarun, and I love how Tatsu doesn't even show Okarun's face. He doesn't show his face, but we could tell Okarun is pissed. Now, I love this one. I love when you get to see a whole bunch of different character reactions. I love, like, the direction. I love the design. I love seeing, like, Ira, Gigi, Mr. Mantis Shrimp, and Rokoro all beaten up because they've been losing. Our gang has been losing and down in this fight versus the Globalists. So now, you know, they're getting pissed. They're getting ready to fight. I especially love, you know, how Tatsu draws Ira and Gigi. Once again, I am a Gigi and Ira shipper, but I love, if you notice, the eyes. Ira has her right eye, you know, covered with an eye patch. Gigi has his left eye, like, beaten and closed from, like, maybe getting punched in the face too much. And I just love how Tatsu, again, plays with symmetry. This one is great because it shows, once again, our gang, you know, we're in a battle shonen. We're going to be one of the greatest battle shonen ever. And this is our gang, you know, getting their licks in, getting beaten, getting jumped, and now we're getting pissed, and now we're getting ready. Okay, it's on. We're bringing it to the next level, and that's why I love DanDaDan. That's why DanDaDan is going to be one of the greatest battle shonen ever. So yeah, this one's number 12. For number 11, we have Okarun and Kinta versus Jet and Hase, chapter 188, Kazuka Knives arc. Now, I love the coolness of this panel. Like, I just think it's so raw the way Tatsu plays with lighting. I love how it's like all dark and mysterious. And, you know, we see like Okarun and Kinta in the foreground, they're like knocked down. And then our eyes look up to the distance and we see Jet and Hase coming out of the shadows. I love how Jet is like flying down. I love the direction. And then I love how Hase is like coming out of the shadows, and he's got like the shading on his face is so nasty. It's so clean. Like, you could tell Hase, you know, they got villainous intent. They're going evil mode, and I love it. I love it. Just another great cinema-worthy panel. I think it's sick. You know, I love the detail. I feel like Tatsu put a lot of detail into this design of this panel. I also love, if you notice, Okarun's sneakers got like this little triangle symbol. Might be like an Easter egg. Might be something Tatsu hinting at something bigger down the line. This one is fun. I love this panel just for the coolness alone. Okay, guys, we are now entering our top 10. At number 10, we have Okarun and Momo, half naked in the halls, chapter 25. Now, this might be a little risque for YouTube, so I'm going to be censoring it a little bit. But anyway, this panel is just hilarious. I love this panel. I blurt out laughing every time I see it. This is, like, I think one of the funniest moments in DanDaDan. Yes, I know it's a little risque, but guys, like, just laugh with it. Okay, so we have Okarun and Momo. They just finished fighting the Serpos and the aliens, and now they leave empty space. They're back in school, and they're half naked. And all the students in the halls are like laughing at them, heckling them. And I love this one because Yukinobu Tatsu knows how to draw character expressions. I love you got this one guy at the far right side of the panel, like shouting at them, like, yo. He's got like this like kind of like Chad expression. I love you got this one guy who's got like the video camera out, like looking like such a stalker. You got like these noobs like popping their head out of the school window, looking down on them. He's got like these like, I don't know if it's like scared or bewildered or embarrassed or bashful, but it's just like hilarious the way these students are looking at Momo and Okarun. You got these girls like covering their mouth, like he, and I don't know. This one is just funny. Like, you can't overthink this one. Yes, like I said, I know it's a bit risque, and I thought about not even bothering putting this one up, but you know, it really is one of my top 10 favorite DanDaDan panels. For number 9, we have a grouping of 2 double spreads. They're both of Reiko Kashima trapping the Space Globalist in her mirror. This is from chapter 117 during the Space Globalist arc. Now, I love the art and the scaling of these panels. I love how you got Reiko, you know, looking so big and tall, peering through her mirror, and then you see the Space Globalist looking so tiny and small, and like, I don't know if it's Tatsu or his assistants, but the amount of detail is insane. You can make it all like hundreds of different aliens and alien designs and spacecrafts, and it's just like fantastic in terms of scaling and art. And then what I love what Tatsu does is Reiko takes her fist and smashes them, and just the force, like the momentum, like the weight and the gravity of that punch is insane. You feel her wrecking the invasion. Just a fun panel, and yeah, this one had to be in top 10. Coming in at number 8, we have Rin's Yokai Transformation, Chapter 158, Danmaru Arc. Now, I blurt out laughing every time I see this panel. I love it. The comedy is just 100%. Tatsu was cooking with this one. Like, just seeing Rin, a shy class president, have this like turtle bikini outfit is just hilarious. I love how, the dialogue box, you have Mai, her guardian spirit, saying, "You could save everyone through the power of song." And then Rin, in her text box, in big lettering says, "What the eek?" Like, it's just like hilarious. You can tell Rin, you can see the embarrassment on her face. Like Tatsu, like I said, Tatsu knows how to draw expressions and face and like convey emotion through the face. Yeah, we could feel for our girl Ren. Oh, poor Ren, she's hurting in this one. She's embarrassed. Like, I just love the comedy. This is another fun DanDaDan panel where, you can get like characters like the class rep, uptight, get some crazy wild bikini turtle outfit, and she's got to sing to save the day. Just a fun panel that it's got to be in top 10 for me. Coming in at number 7, we have the Yakinini Barbecue, Chapter 119, Space Globalist Arc. Now, I love this panel because it's so comfy and warm. This is our famous end-of-fight meals that Seiko makes for the gang, and I love this panel. It reminds me a lot of One Piece, how in One Piece at the end of every battle or arc we have a feast. And once again, it shows that Tatsu takes a lot of inspiration from One Piece, and he's trying to create the Gen Z One Piece with DanDaDan, or the next DanDaDan-like series. But yeah, I just love this panel because the gang could finally rest. We see them chatting. We see Okarun chatting to Mr. Mantis Shrimp. Iris feeding little Chiki. We have Momo hugging Seiko, and you got Gigi and Kinta like arguing, and just a very fun panel. I love the food. Tatsu places such a big emphasis on food and the meals we get to eat, and I really love that message and that theme of DanDaDan. And this panel is just very comfy and just shows that DanDaDan, besides great fights and great romance, it's a great slice of life manga. And I highly encourage you all to read DanDaDan. This is so rewarding after a very tough fight with the Globalist, and a great way to end the Space Globalist arc. So yeah, I love this panel, number 7. So now we're going on to number 6. At number 6, we have 2 panels of Count Saint Germain, Chapter 160, Danmaru Arc. Now I love these panels of Count Saint Germain. We have one double spread where he's like throwing the talismans, he's in action. I love how he's saving Rin and the girls. Just a very sick pose. I love the design. I think Count Saint Germain is the best designed DanDaDan character in the series. And yeah, the next one is Count Saint Germain busting out his famous catchphrase. He's always like, "Excuse me, but who might you be?" And I just love that snappy little kind of like villainous dialogue. And his design is sick. Tatsu loves this character. If you look at the design of his coat and his boots, it's just sick. And I just love the Ashura sword. What a cool weapon, and just the black lightning coming from it. Just an awesome panel. The ore from these two are amazing, and I had to put Count Saint Germain panel in the top 10, so here we go with these two. We are now moving into our top 5 best DanDaDan manga panels. Each of these 5 are true masterpieces, and I think are the pinnacle of Tatsu's artwork and creative juices. If you are not convinced to pick up the DanDaDan manga and read this story after seeing my top 5, then I have failed you with this video. But these 5 manga panels are the best and sum up what DanDaDan is, and really what I got into loving this series about. So without further ado, number 5, we have the panel of Reiko Kashima giving Momo advice at the end of the Space Globalist arc, Chapter 120. Now, a little about me, I didn't get into DanDaDan until I watched the Season 1 anime. And I love the series. I was like, oh, this is a great anime. And I was like, I want to see more of the story. So I started to see oh, is there a manga series? Can I pick this up and read? And when I Googled, more about the DanDaDan story, this panel came up. This panel of Reiko's giant face with this demonic, creepy, sick smile, looking down at Momo, who's only a quarter, maybe an eighth of the page. And I was like, what is this artwork? This is insane. And I was like, this character design is off the charts. And now this panel alone got me into, okay, I gotta read this manga. And I started buying the manga and reading from there. But what I love about this panel too, besides being one of my first DanDaDan panels to pick up, is I just love the artwork. I love the size of Reiko, how Reiko's face is enormous, how her smile is so creepy. It's so detailed, and her eyes are like beaming. And I love like also the dialogue. She's like, you know, don't ditter. If you do, then I'll take him from you if you're not being honest. I love like how she's giving her advice, but it's also advice that's veiled as a threat, like a warning to her. Like you could see she's got her finger, which is bigger than Momo's face, and she's just gently touching her, and Momo was like shocked. Like this one is great because it's a great character moment, and it just shows the depth of DanDaDan. How DanDaDan, besides fights and romance, it's got like advice, it's about fun, it's about meeting these crazy characters with crazy backstories, and like the art and just the imagination. So I love this panel. This is the panel that got me really into reading DanDaDan after the anime. And yeah, you guys gotta wait till season 3 to really see Reiko Kashima shine. She is the ultimate yokai. At number 4, we have the Gang vs. the Globalist, chapter 111, Space Globalist arc. And this is our Avengers Endgame type vibe. This is what every Battle Shonen fan wants to see in their story. You want to see your gang in that heroic pose, staring down the villains. This is like One Piece's Enies Lobby type arc, where we had our gang of Straw Hats, you know, staring down CP0. That's what I love about this panel. It gives us that feeling. You know, we have the Evil Eye in the foreground saying what we're all thinking: we're gonna take out these ops, we're gonna kill these ops. And then we have, go down the line, we have Okarun, Momo, Vamola, Ira, and Mr. Shrimp. And I love how Momo and Vamola are in the center. I love how they're in the center. I love how you have the Evil Eye and Ira on the flanks. Just a great shot, you know, just a great panel. This is our heroic moment. This is where DanDaDan is literally boxing with the top shonen mangas and animes. You know, this is our heroic moment. This is gonna go so hard in the anime. I just love the feeling. Like it feels epic. It feels like I said, Avengers Endgame in this panel. This is our gang lined up, ready to rumble. What can I say? We love it when all our heroes are in the same spot, got our same pose on, and we're ready about to throw down together. You know, nothing like throwing down with your friends. So yeah, this is number 4. So before we get into our top 3 DanDaDan manga panels, we're gonna do a quick honorable mentions. The first one is Momo and Zuma and the Danmar. They're just chilling. I like the staging with the fireflies. Seiko aura farming on Taro. For the next one, we have the Sumerians versus the Globalists. I like the pyramid design. It's another good double spread. And the last one, I don't really want to say too much. I don't want to spoil this one. This drawing alone can create a thousand words, so I don't want to say too much about it, but truly like hauntingly beautiful. And yeah, you gotta read the manga to find out more about this one. So anyway, these are 4 panels that I really like but didn't make the top 25. So now we're moving on to our top 3. Taking our number 3 spot, we have a Yokai Crab Chase, chapter 6, Turbo Granny arc. Now I absolutely love this double spread. It's amazing. It's a 10 out of 10 when it comes to the artwork. Tatsu really knows how to draw. The detail on the crab is insane, and I love the movement. Once again, for a still image, Tatsu knows how to create such dynamic movement. I love how the crab is like crashing through the mountain. And you have Momo and Okarun running. I love how the highway line separates them. Once again, I love the symmetry Tatsu knows how to draw. I love how Momo's expression is anxious, Okarun's is anxious. Like, you just feel them running. Like, it's a still image, but I feel so much movement. I feel so much momentum. I feel like I'm running away from the crab with them. This panel is so DanDaDan. This is like, I think, what really started to put eyeballs on DanDaDan in the early stages. It's just fun. It's just what anime and manga should be about. And yeah, I love this one. This one brings me a lot of joy. I love, like I said, Okarun and Momo. It's like a mirror image. They're both running down the highway. And yeah, I love this panel. Tatsu knocked it out of the park with this one. And fantastic art for chapter 6. For the number 2 spot, we have the Space Globalist Leader versus the Great Kinta. Now, I love this double spread. This is another double spread that makes me blurt out laughing every time I see it. I love like the poses of the Great Kinta. The Great Kinta has his arms crossed, just looking smug. And I love how like the Globalist Leader is just like hunched over, like, what the heck am I looking at? This one screams comedy. This is Tatsu flexing on us, flexing on all the other mangaka. Tatsu knows how to draw. Like, if you look at the scaling of this, you can see like the city in the background. Like, look how small everything looks. And just like the Great Kinta is such a great design. This is a great moment too. This is where Kinta steps up. I know Kinta's a bit of a clown, a bit of a controversial character, but I love Kinta. I love when he comes in clutch. And this is a fantastic moment. This is a huge moment for him. Huge moment for the story. You know, it's just great. I love, once again, Tatsu knows what he's doing with the symmetry like the mirror image. You see the Great Kinta on the right, then you go to the left, and you see the Space Globalist leader with like that evil kaiju. And yeah, just a fantastic panel. This is my number 2, hands down. Okay, we're moving on to our number 1 best DanDaDan panel. If you can guess what my number 1 DanDaDan panel pick is, then you're a true DanDaDan fan. Okay, of course, I'm talking about the double spread from 159. Of course, I'm talking about that panel. The one that we all were waiting for. Of course, I'm talking about Okarun's confession of Momo. Oh yeah, baby, during the Danmara arc. Now, I love this panel. This panel is payoff. You know, this payoff is for over 100 chapters of build-up. You know, Tatsu has been building and crafting this romance, you know, which is the core, not the only thing, but the core and heart of the DanDaDan story is Momo and Okarun's relationship. And this is a huge character moment. This is probably like one of the biggest character growth moments in manga. Okarun confesses to Momo. He went from a nerdy, shy kid who couldn't get out his feelings to in the heat of battle, he's confessing. And I love to see the character growth. And just another thing that makes this panel number 1 is the way Tatsu does it. When you look at this double spread, your eyes first start off with the text box where Okarun says Miss Ayase. Your eye then moves down, because obviously he has it drawn where Okarun is like flying up, Momo's still down because of the curse, she can't like fly up with everyone. So Okarun is holding on to Momo, right? So your eye goes down their arm to see Momo, and Momo looks so good here. And she also looks like surprised, and we don't know why she's surprised, so our eyes move a couple feet to the left where we see the text box, I love you. What a great way, what a cinematic way to convey the confession, all in one static manga panel. This is what DanDaDan is about. This is why Yukinobu Tatsu is the next Oda. This is why Yukinobu Tatsu will go down as one of the greatest mangaka ever, and DanDaDan is a story you gotta pick up now. You gotta pick up now. It is the next One Piece. It could rival and even be better than One Piece in my opinion. This panel shows like this mangaka knows what he's doing. I just love everything. I love how the background is crumbling away and it's like fading into this white light. I love just like the staging with the Okarun and Momo holding each other's arms. This is cinema. This is not a manga. This is cinema you're reading. And I love this panel. This panel brings me so much joy. Unlike some of the other panels which might have brought me laughter, might have been cool, this one is like 120% when it comes to joy. I love it. It builds up, and it's perfect payoff for all the build-up Tatsu was doing, and shows this mangaka knows what he's doing. He is the next great one, and this is a great panel that I think truly captures the heart and essence of DanDaDan, and truly is like, the best DanDaDan panel there is. Anyway, guys, those are my top 25 rankings. Let me know in the comments what you think. Make sure to smash a like. Let me know if I missed any panels you agree with, disagree with. If you change the rankings around, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Anyway, guys, it's been great. Count Zactama out.